All right, so I want to talk about polynomial functions a little bit. We're going to start out with this idea right here, that we have this equation, f of x, and it's equal to a sub n times x to the n plus a sub n minus 1 times x to the n minus 1 plus whatever series is in between, ending with a sub 1 times x. This is x to what power? That's why it's at the end. This is x to what power? The first power. And this out here, can anybody see this is x to what power? It's kind of weird, but can you see it? Marion? X to the 0 power. So even though it doesn't show that in the textbook, it's something really interesting to keep in mind, because if you look at this now, all this a sub n is saying is the first coefficient. But the first coefficient is hooked to the variable with the highest exponential value. Then the next term will be whatever its coefficient is times x to the highest power minus 1. And we're going to keep subtracting until we get all the way down to x to the 0 power. Make any sense at all? Just as a starting point? So these are some things that have to be true. So here, f of x is a polynomial if and only if. Well, if and only if the exponents are whole numbers. Can I have an example of whole numbers, please? Whole numbers. The way I remember whole numbers is I take the word whole, and I put a line under the word whole, that is a whole, and what number looks like that? 0. So it's those counting numbers, whole numbers are those counting numbers, starting with 0, then 1, 2, 3, etc., etc., etc. Yes? So no negative numbers. The number could be 0. Can the number be 1? Can the exponential value be 1.5? No, 1.5 is not a whole number, because whole numbers are counting numbers. Yes? It's really, really important, because in a minute I'm going to ask you, is something an exponential function or not? And the coefficients must be real numbers. Get an idea. To answer what's a real number, what's the opposite of a real number? So we'll take out that idea, right? So real numbers are all numbers that are not imaginary. So a number may be irrational, like pi, or maybe the square root of 2, but it's still a real number, isn't it? Okay. Just as a matter of form, I want you to keep in mind that standard form of a polynomial is descending order of exponents, not coefficients, exponents. And we're going to get into exactly what that means in just a second, but just as some things to think about. Descending order of exponents, let's do that. Make sure we make it clear. Ran from left to right, and I meant Austin. Sorry, buddy. So let's try that. Whoa! Did I see a flash? No, only I saw it. That's cool. I have that kind of power. I really do. So let me ask you this. Is this... So here, let's ask a question. Polynomial? Why or why not? So how about this? F of x is equal to 1/2 x squared minus 3x to the 4th minus 7. Is f of x a polynomial function? Yes or no? Is this a polynomial function? Marion? It is, but It is, but what's the problem with it? Stefan? It's not in standard form, but it is a polynomial. How do we know that? Well, here are the coefficients. The coefficients are 1, -3, and -7, aren't they? Are those, what kind of numbers are those? They're real numbers. What's true about the exponential value? This is x squared. What's true about 2? 4 is also a whole number. And this is x to the what? This is x to the 0 power, right? I mean, you don't have to write this, but it's something interesting to look at. So it's x to the 0 power. 0 is a whole number also. So, yes, it's a polynomial. However, I agree with you. I would definitely rewrite it. And how would you rewrite this? How would you rewrite this quickly? Yes, Lindsay. Mm-hmm. I intentionally didn't write in these variables because I wanted to actually show this a little bit. It's to the 4th, and then the next smallest one is squared, isn't it? And then the least of them all is x to the 0. So they're in descending order, aren't they? Because it says here we want descending order of exponents from left to right. 4 is the greatest of them. The next greatest is 2, and the least greatest is 0. Yes or no? Okay, terrific. Let's just do a couple more really quickly. What about this one? What if I said to you, g of x is equal to x cubed plus 3 to the x power? Polynomial, yes or no? Yes or no? David? I say no. Why not? What's weird about this? Jessica? It's 3 to the power of x, and we don't know because this is a variable. We don't know if this is a whole. This doesn't have to be a whole number, does it? It's not defined as a whole number. So no. No. What about this one? H of x, let's do this one quickly, is 6x squared plus 2x to the -1 plus x. Polynomial, yes or no? It's not. Why not? That's right. There's an exponent here. We're not saying it's because it's a negative exponent. It's because the exponent is not what? Not a whole number. All right? Let me stop for just a second.